Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Very fun virtual Doctor's Night Out with our host, Dr. Kellyann.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Doctor's Night Out. I'm your host, Dr. Kellyann Petrucci, and tonight is an exciting night. We are taking a break from all of our COVID discussion, and we're shaking it up with a little fun, and I admit this is very selfish on my part, because I have been feeling the quarantine blahs in a lot of ways, and one of them has certainly been beauty, but I'm lucky because I have an arsenal. I have an arsenal of the most powerful people in the makeup industry, and I'm not saying that loosely. I truly have an arsenal of the very best experts out there. We are delivering them to you this evening. So if anyone has any questions throughout the evening, tonight is your night. Tonight is your night. So anyone that I have on Doctor's Night Out, as you know, most of them I have broken bread with. These are people that I know, I love, I trust. These are people who are committed to growth. These are your true truth seekers. So we're going to start tonight. And, you know, I have to start by reading the bios. And here's why. Because I'm a little proud. Not only am I proud, but I have to tell you, I don't get, struck very easily by people that just absolutely wow me. I have to tell you, this group, you've got a lot of star power here. You've got a lot of star power here. So Elena George, Elena, say hi.
Hi.
Elena George has been in the business of making people look fabulous for over 30 years. Her career launched while working with Salt and Pepper as their hairstylist. As a chance circumstance, she started doing the group's makeup. She's now a makeup artist for the stars. She understands the importance of skin as the palettes for makeup. She's worked on The View and Good Morning America and is the recipient, now get this, is the recipient of eight Emmys. Welcome to the show, Elena.
Thank you. Hi.
Congratulations,
Go, Elena.
By the way, we've got a fiery group here tonight, so you can just plan on having fun. Okay, Nicole Brill. So, okay, let me. I will say something about Elena before we really quick. I have to say about Elena really quick. Elena is one of my closest friends. She has been a spiritual guide for me in many ways. She is what I call the ultimate pour. What do I mean by that? As she's working on you, she is doing a spiritual do-over that you don't even know. She's pouring goodness, pouring love, and pouring purpose. So thank you for that, Elena. I had to end with that.
You're
Nicole.
welcome. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome.
Okay, so Nicole. So Nicole, you know,
Hey.
Nicole is one of those people who has her head on so straight. I don't get it. Okay, she really, if there's anything going on and I call or we meet for lunch or we meet at a cafe somewhere in New York, she really knows how to be an artist about everything in her life, even her languaging, her compassion, everything. She really is a true artist in many ways. And I'll never forget when I did the Today Show appearance where she was the creative director. She was able to do everything from hair to makeup to lighting to styling to talent, composition, everything. So she truly is a true talent. Nicole, I cannot be more excited that you're here. I could not be to share this with you. So I'm so glad.
Thank you, sweetheart.
So Nicole Brill is the guiding hand between her client's image. Her client list includes stunners such as the First Lady, Melania Trump, Ivanka Trump, Ariana Rockefeller, also known, how do you say it, Francis? The NASCAR?
The France family, NASCAR family,
Yep,
yes.
France family, the NASCAR family, yep. And we have the Lionsgate family. We have Hilfiger, Princess Charlene of Monaco, Prince Albert, Queen Nora of Jordan. I mean, this is serious stuff. She works on royalty all the time. And so we're so happy you're here to share all your wisdom and knowledge with us. Sorry, guys. This is real
Thank
fun.
you, love. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us, Dr. Kellyann. I
you're
love
welcome.
you too.
Love you too. Sorry, guys.
And you look beautiful. You look beautiful, by the way. You look gorgeous, by the way, tonight.
I've had some help. I will tell you, there's magic. behind his face. Magic, and y'all know.
Looks gorgeous.
Sam Fine. Sam
Good
Fine
job.
has superstars like Patti LaBelle, Vanessa Williams, Halle Berry, Queen Latifah, supermodels, Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell. What do they have in common? They have all relied on the expert hands of Sam Fine. Can I just tell you about Sam? Let's talk. Okay,
What?
Sam Fine he's so dynamic. He's got like that pop. He's got that pop and that personality, and he just likes to get in it, get the job done. Extremely creative. You have to check him out. Everyone here. He's just absolutely good energy. Time 10. We're so pleased you're here, Sam. Okay.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be
Sam.
joining so many of my friends.
Likewise. So, Derek, what did I say before he came on? I said he might be one of the nicest people I've ever met. Am I right? Splendidly beautiful, compassionate, and kind. A beautiful artist. You know, it's everything that you would want in a human being. Everything you'd want in a human being. He's the brand of professional beauty. He's a celebrity makeup artist. He's painted the faces of some of the world's most famous women, including Oprah Winfrey. He is Oprah Winfrey's guy. So he has had such a list. I mean, including the First Lady, Michelle Obama, Beyonce, Chaka Khan, so many influential women. I mean, and the thing about Derek is that, you know, he's so under the radar in the sense that, you know, he is so humble. He's so humble, and his talent is unbelievable. It's just unparalleled. So I'm so happy that you're my friend, and I'm so happy you're here, Derek. I believe there's.
I'm happy to be here, really am.
So I'm so happy. So guys, there's a little bit of a delay, so you're gonna have to deal with that this evening, as you know, we're all zooming on Zoom and we have technical issues. So let's get started, because we're all, you know, doing this. Nicole, let's start with you. So again, a glittering roster of celebrities, you know, the First Lady of the United States, Queen of Jordan, Princess Charlene of Monaco. And this year, your skincare, which is really exceptional, it was awarded the best luxury brand of 2020. Okay, you've got some serious creds here. So given how successful you are, people might think that, you know what, they may think that, you know what, this has been your thing your whole life, right? But actually, you were trained in the classical arts, and you were in painting, and you were in theater. So how did it go from you being one of the most in-demand makeup artists out there?
So I started I started as a painter and as an actor. I actually had I was at a conservatory for theater. I had a scholarship for theater, and but that was when I was in college. But years prior, when I was 14, my mom started doing makeup and hair. And so she started bringing me with her on all of her shoots. And then somehow we were able to figure out how to work together by the fact that when I was at home, she would sit down and start training me how to do makeup. And basically what she wanted to do, because she knew that I knew what she liked, was that she would train me exactly what she liked. And then when we would go on a shoot together, I would pretty much be an assistant to her exact specifications. So it was a personalized experience like that. But because we had always been creative our entire lives together, painting and just being creative, I just feel like when you're an artist of any kind, your entire life is not just pigeonholed into one creative outlet. You're pretty much an artist in any capacity. So what started out as painting and drawing and all of that, and acting and that form of expression as an artist, then translated soon into the form of being a makeup artist when my mother started training me to come on shoots with her. What ended up happening was somehow I had a knack for it. And so people would request me back again. And so then it just started becoming a high school job. And before I knew it, it started becoming a college job. And then when I graduated from college, I got offered more positions at makeup studios for fashion and television and whatnot. And, you know, I just kind of went with the flow. And that I just, you know, of course, we always love glamour. We love beauty. I mean, that's something that you might have in your system your entire life. So, of course, I enjoyed that. But, you know, now, as time has gone on, of course, I still do the makeup. And I, you know, I'm with the First Lady right now. And so that's keeping me occupied when she needs me.
She goes to the White House on a regular. It's a regular thing for her to go to the White House. It's like nothing anymore. Oh yeah, I'm going to the White House. Oh yeah, like it's another day.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm honored and great. I have in gratitude for this experience. But along with that, being a makeup artist, I now also have a skincare company because my passion as a makeup artist was always perfecting people's skin. So it was sort of just a natural transition into what I do now most of the time when I'm not doing makeup. And as well, you know, I write. I'm a songwriter, and I've had some songs produced and put on TV shows. And I just feel like when you're creative, you can stick to one lane if that's something that makes you happy, or you can branch out and do a lot of things. So what started out as being an assistant to my mother then generated a career of beauty and fashion and TV and all the avenues. And then you kind of just keep going on that road. And it brings you to different places.
It's beautifully put. And, you know, creativity is creativity. You know, so many of us have that in there. We're always looking for ways to express it. And I think what's so amazing about all of you on this panel is that you found your ultimate palette. You found a way to really express yourselves through all of this. And Elena and I were talking about that earlier. And Derek, I want to talk to you for a moment because, Derek, we talked to Nicole and she was telling us about, you know, it was an evolution. It wasn't planned going to be a makeup artist. It was her creative expression that blossomed and kind of weaved into her life. And you have a really interesting story too. I mean, they call you the maestro of makeup, and that's really well deserved. And again, for the First Lady, Michelle Obama, the White House is nothing to you. Beyonce, Chaka Khan, and now like Oprah Winfrey's got you right here, won't let you out of her sight. So you've done so many different things, but your transition into makeup was different as well. And you also have an interesting story because your weight played into all of this. So tell us how it happened.
Okay, yes. I, like Nicole, I went to school in the arts. I drew, painted, which is, I guess all of us who are artists, we start up doing that type of that kind of craft. But then I, started taking voice lessons when I was in 6th grade. And my intention my entire life was to be a opera singer because I love to sing.
Oh.
I have a wonderful voice. My speaking voices can be a little soft, but when I open my mouth to sing, I can shatter windows. So I wanted to become an opera singer. And when I went away to college to pursue that, my voice teacher told me at the time that they wanted me to change my occupation from one occupation, but my talent from being a opera singer or voice major to minor in music and major in producing and directing. And that's where my love for the arts came into as far as makeup. But it really hurt my feelings that he wanted me to switch my occupation. Well, my elective.
So you actually went through a hardship. So you actually went through a hardship,
yeah, I did.
Right? You went through a hardship.
He
See,
told
so
me
many
that
of our careers are founded on that. I want everyone to really listen as we're discussing with these people who have reached the highest level of achievement in their field. And I want you to really listen in on the hero's journey that they've all had, because everyone does. Because let's face it, it's boring. Life is boring when you don't have this texture. And that's what makes people interesting. It's what makes people courageous, and it's what makes people ultimately successful. So go ahead, Derek, please finish.
Well, I guess when I go back there, it always, when I revisit that time, I get a little sad because I, at the time, had a huge weight issue. My voice teacher said, you have a beautiful face, you don't have the body to go with the face. So I suggest that because you're a lyric tenor, which is the romantic of the opera, that if you were a baritone, you could get away with it more. But the most you'll ever get is a role in the chorus when they'll never see you and you will never make a living doing it. So what I decided to do was I changed my major. I mean, I could have had the attitude where I said, well, I'll do what I want to do. But I was very, I listened to what he said. And even though it hurt my feelings, I did it. At that time, I was close to 600 pounds. So that's what did it, and for those people out there, like when I go out and I teach, do seminars, I tell people that you're going to have struggles. You're going to have things that are going to turn you around and want to change, push your mind in a different position as to where you want to go. But if you're on that journey, if you have the determination to want to do something, you go after it. I didn't. And what I did back then and turned it into a desire to do beauty by taking fashion photography. And from the fashion photography end, I had to make up my own models because I've always loved beauty. I always loved painting. When I was doing photography, I noticed that the models didn't look quite the same as they did in magazines because I lived in fashion magazines. So I had the girls around the campus to bring me their makeup. And then once I noticed that they looked a certain way in the camera after taking their pictures, then I started using that platform to do everyone's makeup around the campus. From that, I actually
you see all the
got
signs
the training.
of leadership, guys? Do you see the adaptability here? You're going to hear
What
that.
a beautiful story. My God, that's such a gorgeous story. I mean,
It's beautiful.
It
really is. I mean, and listen to the compassion. And by the way, Derek, you're being very vulnerable right now, which is hard for people to do. So I just kind of want to recognize your vulnerability. And it's a beautiful, can you see, everyone, how beautiful it is?
I'm so touched by this.
Yeah,
my God.
It's honest. It's honest.
And it takes such courage. What a courageous journey.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hard journey. It was a hard journey only because even when I was at the weight I was, I became a wonderful makeup artist. I mean, a top makeup artist doing all kinds of celebrities at that weight. And
were you hurting inside, Derek? Were you hurting inside? So when you...
Oh, yeah. Of course. I was hurting inside because I knew my dilemmas. I knew them, but I tried everything I could to lose weight at the time. But I still had because of my strong desire to be the best, and because I had celebrities that I worked with that saw the heart and not the person, they pushed people to use me regardless. And so because of that, I was able to get work, and I didn't find out. I eventually.
And on top of it, you're so good. You're so good at what you do. By the way, hello, can we just discuss that? Well, so talent wins in this case.
Yeah, it did, because quite a few of the artists, the celebrities said, if I can't get him, you can't get me. I honestly didn't know any of this till I eventually had the gastric bypass to lose the weight. And I lost quite a bit. And then once I did, that's when people came back and told me that, producers, directors, other celebrities, that I'm glad you did this, and that, do you realize that there were so many jobs we wanted to book you for, but we didn't because we were scared that you would come on set and you would have a heart attack on set, or we were scared that we would have to pay for 2 seats on the plane in order to fly you to an event, because, like I said, at my highest, I was 586 pounds at my highest. And,
highest in my head. Stop for a minute, Derek. Hang on, sweetheart.
Yes.
But did everyone catch that? 586 pounds. So here's a man who's going out there in the world, He's around some of the highest level people. Now, I don't know if you've, been around celebrities, you get tongue tied, you feel, a little bit shy or sheepish, so to speak. Here is a man who has his hands on all these high level people, and inside he's hurting. He's over 500 pounds. And I think this is why, and then I'd like to bounce something off Elena for a moment, Derek. But I think this is why when I announced you, I said you're one of the kindest, munificent people that I've met. Do you see in that moment that's how you got that? That's how you said they were able to look at my heart and not the rest of me. Do you see what a precious gift that is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. That's why I'm very sensitive. I feel everything. I can meet someone and immediately feel their pain, their hurt, their joys. I feel everything. So I could feel everything that people would, what people felt. And I took all of that in. And that's why I just feel this is a platform that's helpful, because I understand when people want to do something and can't do it because of issues that they have. I always wanted to be.
I think that being a makeup artist is compassion, because when you're standing in front of people for a living and you're literally face to face with all of the anxiety that they have, I think every makeup artist shares this with you and just shares this in common, that we become very intuitive to people because we're so close to them all the time. So this completely makes sense. And it's nice to hear that somebody else it sort of affirms what the rest of us we all feel the same way.
And we have so much more to say, Derek. I want to bounce to Elena for a moment, because Elena, she has, Elena has, I'm really putting this together now, that a lot of you that have this compassion about you, perhaps this is why, as Nicole just said, Elena, I always say that you really pour good into everyone every time you work on them, whether they know it or not. That's what you're doing, and it's really a beautiful thing. And I just want to remind everyone, that Elena's been a makeup artist for over 30 years, and she has 8 Emmys. And she's also worked with incredible people like Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, and my dear friend Robin Roberts over at Good Morning America. And it's interesting, because tell us about your passion for makeup. How did it grow into this incredible career you have? Because, like everyone else that's speaking this evening, it wasn't just you woke up one day and said, I'm going to be the world's greatest makeup artist. There was a road to follow. So tell us about that.
There was. Okay, so first of all, I want to say that Sam Fine plays a big part of my career. Sam. He plays a very big part, because I started out doing hair first, and I was doing a lot of celebrities at my young age. I was like 19, working with various artists, and of course, the main one was Salt and Pepper. And every time Sam and I would, get a job together to do, whether it's a music video, a magazine cover, or something like that, Sam would always say to me, girl, you better learn how to do some makeup, because you can have that in your back pocket. And then Kevin O'Coin would say the same thing. Girl, you better learn how to do makeup, because you can have that in your back pocket. And I used to be like, no, I love hair. I am not doing no makeup. Up until that one time when one of the girls had got her makeup done, and they put some type of acidic serum on her face, and it burnt it. From that moment is when I started doing makeup, and I had to take the very advice that Sam gave me and put it to work. So after a while, although hair is still my love, after a while makeup became like my lover. Like, it was just something that just allowed me to just paint and create, and then also work on people's confidence. You feel like you can tap in even more and deeper into their confidence level, and you kind of can recognize certain flaws in people, because seriously, you are in their face. So if your heart is clean, honestly, you can sense all types of things as you're working on that person, especially if a person is really heavy, like if they're going through something and they're not verbalizing it, you can feel the energy as you're working on them. And as an artist, it's up to you to create a face that does not show what they're going through.
And I think what's cool about you, Elena, if I can just add to that, I'd like to add, we have a little delay, folks, so forgive the kind of the cross interchanging here. That's a little interruptive. We have a delay. But Elena, I want to say to you, what's interesting about you to that point is that you do that on people. You're kind of feeling, and they don't even know it. So you're picking up on what they're feeling or what they're thinking or what kind of day they're having, or if they're in their head about their segment, or if they don't want to talk. Because one of the things I recognized about you is when I've had people work on me before segments and they're talking to you, they're asking you, what supplement should I take? And this is what's happening. And my uncle has this. And I'm married on Good Morning America. And Elena, she just knows. She just knows. She's very calm. She's very calm and she does her thing. And I think that's, again, how you develop a lot of this empath that you have. So how did you end up, so speed dial it for us, Elena, and tell us how did you end up in such a big role? Because here you are working on the faces of big, big celebrities. How did that happen?
You know, like I said, I've always been in that platform from Salt and Pepper. And I had to take care of all three of the girls. And that was hair and makeup. So it was a hard,
oh my
hard
God.
job. So it wasn't like, it was just me, just doing like one person or whatever. It just like graduated to where it got to now, just doing makeup.
So Elena, you're in other words, you're lazy then. You're lazy.
far from it. Far from it. But
she has wheels on. In fact, she has wheels on. That's for sure.
I've been blessed.
She's got her luggage going somewhere every time.
Exactly.
You know what's funny is that I was doing. It was funny because when I first started, I was doing makeup and hair as well. So it's funny you say that, Elena, and it brought back all those memories of having to carry around two suitcases, one with makeup, one with hair utensils and wigs and hair pieces. So I remember doing all that.
Or you can be like Nicole, who Nicole will tell you straight up, I'm not doing your hair. You better get your own hairstylist.
I couldn't do that.
Because it's too much gear to carry around.
This is the thing about me. I couldn't do that. I want to do the entire job. You know what I mean? That's how I used to be. I want to do the entire job. I want the look to be a trend look that everyone else be walking around looking just like what I produced on that creative, being creative on a celeb. That was my mentality back then. You know what I mean? But now I have the pleasure of working with Robin Roberts, and that's a completely different platform, but you still have to deliver the beauty, but I'm not able to be as creative as I can be, but I'm creative enough to get the trend going when it comes to natural and glowy and dewy and, all
those
things.
Hold that thought, because that's a whole conversation with you. That's a whole conversation. Her finesse for natural beauty, because I got to get to Sam Fine here, who's been too quiet.
Please get to my brother.
Look.
You're not quiet.
I'm enjoying every story. I remember watching Derek and him talking about, you said, what he was feeling, but I know as someone who would go to BET often, Derek's in DC, he's from DC, he is the king of makeup, especially in DC. Like you would know, when you went to DC and you would go to BET, you'd see Derek painting the face. And for all of us artists who would come through BET, it was such a lovely experience to watch him work and do his job at whatever size you were. Elena, working with Elena, she's had the best of both, being able to be a hairdresser and to be around all of us crazy makeup artists, and to understand what it's like to be behind the scenes. So I've had the pleasure of working with them both and sitting here listening to everyone's stories. And just like Nicole, I'm a former artist. I used to be a fashion illustrator. I went to the Art Institute of Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago. And so my junior year, I went to the Art Institute of Chicago to on scholarship. And it finally made sense to me that I could actually have a career in the arts and not just be a hobby. I moved to New York to go to Parsons. But on the way, I took a job at a cosmetic counter and Naomi Sims Cosmetics, and came in contact with so many amazing people, and everyone just kept saying you should really give this a try. So much of what Nicole said resonated with me as well. Just knowing that we're all artists in so many different ways, and singing and drawing and production, and it is just part of our DNA. So I started assisting other makeup artists, Fran Cooper, whom I absolutely love.
Oh my God!
Introduced me to Covergirl. I know. You know, this is a love fest, really.
You bring us back so many memories.
Oh my God! So I started assisting, and I got a phone call from
No, go ahead, Sam. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Oh no! I was just going to say I was still assisting, and Fran introduced me to Naomi Campbell. So I went from Naomi Sims Cosmetics to Naomi Campbell on set.
Doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. So I find it interesting. You know, I want to ask you a question before I'm going to shoot back to Nicole for a minute. So you started out behind the counter, behind the makeup counter. And
the real school of beauty.
The real school. Now, then you're working on Naomi Campbell. So I have to ask, because I'm curious, tell me what you learned behind the cosmetic counter that helped you work on Naomi Campbell. What lessons did you learn there with that transition?
So much of what you talked about, Elena, so much of what you talked about, Derek, so much of what you talked about, Nicole, that I learned compassion. And, you know, but that begins at home. I've got a mom and 3 sisters. I'm the baby boy. So I learned about compassion and dealing with those kind of relationships, and understanding women's insecurities, and learning how we can help them through not only the toughest of times, but to see some of their mixed makeup messages about themselves. We can help straighten that out in just a word, not even an action, sometimes just a kind word.
I've been on the other side of that. So from many of these people. So
I always say that being a makeup artist is also being a therapist.
Right. I call it a ministry. I
It is.
Perfect.
It really is.
Perfect.
That's your book. That's your book title, Elena.
hey,
The Ministry of Beauty.
The Ministry of Makeup. I love alliteration. Come on.
I love it.
there you go,
That's
Elena.
awesome.
I have to shoot back, and there's so many things I want to ask all of you. And I just wanted everyone to get to know everyone and see what star power we have here. We all want to know the basics here. And Nicole, you were a theater major. So we all want to know practical stuff, right? So lighting. And I know and if I can say this, I hope I'm not over speaking by saying this. I also know you did the lighting and the makeup room for a very special person, a very significant person. You did all of her lighting, am I right? Right? So
I play the fifth on everything.
she played the fifth, so she did a lot in the White House.
But I'm very much, I studied lighting as a theater major, and I've always been very much involved in all of my clients' lighting scenarios, like Elena, where she wanted to do hair and makeup to feel like she had her complete look. I feel like the amount of time and effort I put into the perfection on someone's face, it means absolutely nothing if there's bad lighting.
Preach.
So,
Preach.
Everybody is not for head like this. Every expert.
All of us.
But years and years ago, when I was really young in my early 20s, and I was working for Entertainment Tonight, and in walks Kevin Aucoin, and the two of us had to spend a couple of hours together on a shoot that we were doing with one of his clients as well. And he was so involved. I saw how he handled all of the lighting, and he looked at me and he said, if you ever want your clients to look their best, you have to personally Put aside all your fears of people getting aggravated with you and just dive into making sure that the lighting scenarios are to your liking. And he gave me the confidence that I needed to be able to stand up to cameramen and lighting people who were like, just be quiet and stand in the corner. And basically what happened is that my clients were always very appreciative of it. And so they always counted on me to speak to the lighting people in advance, to understand, because I knew the language, because I studied it, to understand how to light them perfectly to get the right angle and to make their eyes pop or whatever feature it is that they wanted to emphasize. And for me, that's always been number one, because I could spend an hour and 15 minutes making you look extraordinary. And if the lighting is bad, it's as if I never went to work at all. And I know that everybody can attest to this. So I'm very passionate about lighting, because lighting is nothing. Your face is nothing if you don't have good lighting, basically.
Nicole, we're all doing these Zoom meetings. Give us some lighting hacks. Tell us what we can do to make ourselves look better with lighting.
The most important thing of all is that the light is actually facing your face. Rather, I've seen a lot of these Zoom meetings where people have no lighting at all on their face. You can even take a desk lamp and just turn it around. Or if it's a lamp shade, unscrew the top of the lamp shade and just pull it off, so that then the actual light bulb is illuminating the light and illuminates your face. Also, I've seen this a lot where people are sitting with windows behind them, pull the shade down, because the backlighting of the windows makes darkness upon your face. So you basically want everything in the back to sort of be, neutral or no lighting at all. And you always want to shine a light on your face. If you have natural lighting and that's all you have to work with, make it so that your camera is facing the natural lighting. I've seen this far too often. People are sitting in the dark because the natural lighting is behind them. So you want, wherever you can feel like you have to squint a little bit, then you know you're actually in the right spot, and then don't squint. But that's really the short of it, I would say.
Well, that's the information, the kind of information that we really love. We appreciate that. Elena, I want to shoot over to you for a minute, because what I love about your work is that you kind of define natural. Natural is your thing, making a woman look as natural as possible, bringing out their best. And one of the things that you taught me that's really helped a lot is that a lot of us are overdoing our makeup, right? And what happens when we overdo it? We actually look older. And I see this a lot with novice stylists and artists, that when they overdo anything, whether it's your hair, your face, your styling, your fashion, anything, overdoing it ages you. Can you talk about that?
Well, that is so true. So now we're living in the world of Instagram makeup artists and Facebook makeup artists. And I have nothing against them. They all do good work and everything. But I feel like at times it becomes a mask opposed to a natural glow. Like, one thing I love that Sam did, that I know he's a trailblazer for it, is when he was bleaching the eyebrows and making them like that light brown, natural looking look, but it was defined. And the same thing with Derek, it's the same concept. I mean, his eyebrows, like, you knew their work based on the defined brow, but the brow wasn't empowering. It wasn't like introducing itself before you could be introduced. Like, that's happening a lot. I mean, seriously, when you look at some of the artists, and they introduce themselves, the brow says hi to you before you say hi to them. And I think it's a bit much, but that's
a bad scene. It's just a bad scene.
Amen, Elena. Amen.
It's that tan that just didn't work out.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? And I think that artists really need to pay attention to that. And you really can't do that, especially on news. That's a no. You just can't. It's unacceptable. And so if you want to break
a high def nightmare right there.
Yes, like, you really can't do that. You have to keep it as natural as possible with just enhancements, brush strokes of enhancements. That takes the person a long way. And evolve your client. That's another thing that's happened. Like, you are doing that same person for 20 years, and guess what? They still look like 20 years ago. That's unacceptable. You should evolve. You should evolve. When the trends move, you evolve.
Elena, if you can get your clients to evolve, you're very lucky.
Listen, I get my clients
Some of the
to
clients
evolve.
don't want to evolve.
They don't. But guess what? If they want to be on the trend or they want to be looked at, they better cross over, because they don't want to become that dinosaur. You know,
Totally.
Once you become that person, like, oh, she's looked like that forever. You don't want that. What you want is, oh wow, have you seen her? She looks great. That's what you want. You know,
Absolutely.
and so once you get that comfort level with your client, which basically it comes down to confidence level, just building their confidence level, like tapping into their confidence level, then you have more freedom to help them to cross over. It's not easy, because we all get beat up for it. I'm just gonna say it straight. Not every client accepts it, you know, but they do realize that the reason why we're there is because we can take them to the next beauty level. And am I right, Sam?
Whether they know it or not. Because what happens is makeup is a personality. Everybody has a way that they like to look. When I first started working with Patti LaBelle, she wore red lipstick, and that was her thing. This was when nudes were becoming very popular. And then Derek, you know, who you've spent more than a decade with Patti, she doesn't have really full lips. And so she felt that they were going to disappear if she wore a nude. So you walk them through that process. And I think that's, and I go back to the makeup counters, because these are the kind of skills that you learn in how to not convince, not cajole, but help them see themselves in a different light. And then once the applause begins, you got them.
You got them. And you know
Sam, I just want to say, Sam, you need your own radio show, because your voice, I want to fall asleep to it. I want to hear you in the morning when I wake up. I want to hear you at night before I go to sleep. It's so clear.
I think you all should. I don't
sing as well as Derek. I don't sing as well as Derek, but I was in the city chorus.
I want to hear Derek.
But you have that. Your voice has that resonance that actually commands someone to listen to you, and that's what I do love about listening to you, Sam.
Yes.
And you know, Derek, I want to talk about something that you talk about. It's so fun. One of the things that I've always told patients over the years, and we have the same thought on this. You always tell them about salt and their salt intake and how it affects their beauty. Talk about that.
Well, salt, the intake of salt, yes, you need to cut out a lot of salt, because it helps you does make you bloat. But the one good thing about salt is that salt can also help your skin because of the magnesium, the calcium that's in it, and also the sodium and the potassium. Those aspects of the salt, especially if you use it on your body, it helps to soften your skin. It gives moisture to the skin, because our body is comprised of those elements that we need. That's why people, when they take salt baths, it actually helps to soften the skin. But as far as the intake of salt can make you bloat, and those are things you want to cut out especially when you're on television. But as far as using salt with all kinds of things such as honey, and scrubbing your face with it, or using it to salt with all kinds of essential oils and honey, or things like that to actually use as an exfoliant, they're very good for your body.
Yeah, I always say that from a doctor's point of view, salt can either kill you or make you well. So it really depends. The value in salt is the remineralization of your body. And when your body is mineralized properly, your skin cells are bouncy balls instead of flat and deflated. And you want your skin to be beautiful. You want them to be the bouncy balls. So that gray salt, that pink salt, that Himalayan salt, the Celtic salt, are actually very beneficial for your skin. So so that's my little tip for that. And so also, Derek, what I love, my favorite thing, and I think every makeup artist, they're going to roll their eyes at this, because they're like, oh, please, here we go with that word again. I know it, so just go ahead and do it. I love contouring. I love contouring because I love to get this look.
We all love contouring.
I love
that.
Yes,
we all do.
Okay, so I
We all
don't care
love
what you have
contouring.
to do to get this look. I want it. So I look at you as like, you know, you are the king of contouring. So what are your best contouring tips?
Well, I wouldn't say I was necessarily the king of contouring.
Well, to me,
but-
you are.
Take the compliment, Derek. Take the compliment. We've
No,
seen it.
Yes.
Your client.
We've seen it.
Thank
Don't
you.
try to hide it.
I do take it. I do take it. The compliment. Thank you very much. But I also give my props back to my brother Sam as well, because he's a
Yes.
king at contouring as well. But because what has made me has kept me going the way I have is because I'm very good at taking someone and taking 10, 15 years off of them because of the contouring, because that is what helps. You know, as we age, our face droops from the outer perimeter.
You
So we
ain't
have to think
kidding.
of ways.
We
Say
know.
that again.
We know, Derek. Boy, do we know.
Yeah, because as we age, you know, we droop from the outer perimeter. So what we do is we have to learn how to, as artists, to lift that face up with color, and that's where our art, our skills as an artist comes in, where we take 3 and 4 different shades of a foundation, and we create those highlights and those lowlights with the foundation. So contouring is extremely important when it comes down to doing a face, because it can be the difference between a high cheekbone, it can be the difference between a defined jawline, a prominent nose, a large nose you want to make smaller, a high forehead you want to minimize. So as a master, like Sam was working at a counter, I worked at a counter as well, and I got my experience working at counters, working on all different face types, face shapes, and that's what made me such a good makeup artist, because I used that as schooling to help learn how to contour.
I always say it's the real school of beauty.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is the real school because I guess you see so many people and so many different faces and so many different walks of life.
And so many different personalities.
Yes.
Right.
And I want to add to that. So let me say one thing also. The one thing that I and Nicole and Sam, because we've been in the business for over 20 years and then some, we did not have filters, and we weren't able to alter our pictures and do things like that back in the day. So we really needed to know our art and how to draw on a person's face. Very so gently, so it won't look like a line, you know, across the face or across the eye or anything like that, because we didn't have filters and we didn't have the touch-up thing. Like we didn't have
a button to push. We didn't have a button
no,
to push.
and we had to make it look as clean as possible before it is even published or taken. Like the photographer would literally, I know Matthew Ralston.
Oh my God.
Okay.
His name, Matthew Ralston, is one of the greatest photographers alive, but he is one of the most meticulous photographers. Ruben Polidor, who Derek works with often, where I've worked with Jennifer Hudson and Kerry Washington.
Yes.
You work with people who want it to be perfect as it can be, the moment they leave the makeup room. That's another, everyone's so nice, but what they aren't saying is I'm also one of the slowest. So all of that contouring and mixing and foundations, Derek, you better laugh. I'm so meticulous because I know that often our work, Nicole, you know this, is being graded the moment they walk out of the room, and there are 5 clients and a photographer and the press. It's hard.
Yes, it's very hard.
I want to get to some tips, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get to some tips. And there's a lot to say, and you all have your little nuances. You all have your little delicacies of which you specialize in, so to speak. And Sam, one of the things that you talk about is foundation, and that's a really tough thing because for aging skin, do you wear it? Do you not wear it? Because, you know, as Elena said, too much is not good. It actually
said too much. She didn't say none at all.
Right.
Not at all.
Just saying. I think we all agree with that. I think once again, makeup's a personality. I saw your talk with Bobbi Brown, you know, who's known for very clean look. I know Derek, myself, Elena, we were all trained with cream foundations because they gave us the greatest base. You can't really do a celebrity for a red carpet event and expect it to last to the Vanity Fair party and longer if you're not working with something substantial. So you have to think about your needs first. Thinking about, am I going to the office? Go ahead, Derek. Go ahead. Wait, what'd you say?
No, I said preach.
No, he just.
I'm sorry. It's a delay. But it begins with your personality. I've got 3 sisters and a mom at home, and each of them have a different personality. And so for one of them, it might be something as simple as pressed powder or loose powder, and just to alleviate shine, which makes the skin look more consistent in color and texture. So it can be just that simple. Now, then you elevate to concealer. Then you elevate to tinted moisturizer. Then you elevate to cream foundations. And there's so many BB creams, CC creams. Y'all know there's so many foundations on the market with different benefits. So you just have to find out what makes you most comfortable. But I am not saying that you shouldn't dive in the pool a bit to find out what works best for you.
Right. 100%, 1,000%.
I'm just curious about for a practical sense, do you like the creams? Do you like the powders? Is there a preference, or does it depend on the palette you're working on?
So I know I'm speaking to other pros who a little bit of cream that is going to give coverage is going, Derek's doing the same thing. It's like it goes so much further. You have to apply less. You don't even have to apply as much of it. So if you're concerned about it falling into lines and wrinkles, the beauty of having a cream for me is that once I've placed it in that spot, it's good to go, whether that's spot coverage or whether that's used all over.
Right.
Right. Yep. And so, Derek, I also want to talk about lip trends, and you talk about lip gloss and the liners, and are people not using the liners anymore? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say they're not using liners per se, because what they're doing now, because of the popularity of the liquid to matte lipsticks now, is that a lot of times that you can use those as a liner now. But then what I do is I actually take them and I pull them into the center of the lip, and then once it dries, then I'll add a lip gloss to it, just because a lot of times my problem with the liquid to matte is that it can be very drying on the lips. So what I do is I normally put a moisturizer on the lips before I use it, and a lot of times I will still pencil. It's just that I make sure that the pencil matches whatever the lipstick that I'm gonna use, because what people don't realize is that pencil acts as a barrier, as a guard to keep the lipstick from bleeding onto the skin, especially if you're going to wear a lip gloss. So I have all different lip techniques that I use depending on what it is that the person is going to be wearing, what they're going to be attending, especially, when I have a client that is attending an event and has to be gone the entire evening and doesn't want me to go with them to keep them touched up. I got to give them something that's going to last, but then I still will give them whatever I'm using to take with them to use touch-ups with.
Even the good stuff, Derek?
Excuse me?
I say even the good stuff.
Yes, I will. You know why?
It falls like everywhere. You guys know.
You know you're not going to get it back.
You know why? I will, only because what I do is I know beforehand, I have an idea of what they're going to wear. And that's why my makeup kit is so huge, because I usually carry doubles of a lot of stuff. And then what I'll do is I will give them what I have to take with them. A lot of times they say, we'll give it back. And I know I don't get it back, but at least I always have doubles or triples of their favorites. So that way I know if I don't get it back, that I still have it because I know it's their favorite.
Yeah.
Nicole, a question for you. Nicole, you've got a really big anti-aging secret. And I have
Please.
Do tell.
Okay, we're all ears.
And I have to tell you, I have listened to her advice in this area for my skin, and it was a wow. It was definitely a wow. So tell us about the secret.
So one thing that I can say personally, and I know everybody, all of you, all the panelists can agree on this. If the skin underneath is not prepped and primed correctly, no makeup in the world is going to look flawless. So for me, you know, I feel like no matter what your skin, no matter what your makeup technique is, if you like more of a dramatic look, if you want more of a smoky eye, if you want more natural, whatever people's preferences are in terms of their personal choice in makeup, or whatever your client's choice in makeup is, that's sort of the icing on the cake to me. The foundation of the cake, the actual cake itself, is having perfect skin. And I have just had the luxury of being with people who were fortunate enough to be able to afford, you know, a 1 ounce $1,000 cream, and they would come to me and say, I got the best cream, it's made from crushed diamonds or whatever. And they were like, why isn't it penetrating? Why isn't it working? What's wrong? And I said, because the skin underneath hasn't been prepped and primed correctly. And that no matter what you put on, even if it's expensive, it's not going to actually go into your skin. So it's sort of the same thing, the same analogy of priming a wall before you put your favorite paint on. You wouldn't just put paint on a wall that has dents in it. So I came up with a 4-minute treatment that I use on all of my clients, where you prep and prime your skin to perfection, so that then any product that you then put on works faster, more effectively, and then the makeup itself, you don't even have to use as much because it shines through. Now, the 4-minute treatment that I'm talking about is all vitamin C, and vitamin C is a long time proven anti-aging ingredient because it helps your skin to build collagen, and it really eradicates those free radicals, which accelerate aging. And the exciting thing for me is that initially it was just something that I would use on myself and my clients. But then as time went on and it was more in demand, just by the request of people who wanted me to make it for them, I'm now able to put all of my knowledge and everything that I've sort of worked towards all these years, and I can give it to the general public. So now when people use my 4-minute treatment, I just feel a sense of pride that they're using something that not only I love personally on my own skin, but it's part of my work that I've created for all the people that I've ever worked on as well. So it really is quick and it's effective, and it's like the perfect thing to do before a red carpet event. But now that we've been in quarantine, I actually myself just do it every single day because it makes me feel so lifted and tight and refreshed that it gives me a sense of normalcy, you know.
Wait, is Nicole going to tell us what this product is and where we can get it?
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm just saying.
I have to say,
treatment.
Yep, I have to say, so she developed it. Can I say who you developed it for? She developed it for the First Lady, and it just took off, and then her daughter, and then the rest of the family. I mean, that's primarily who she developed this for, and it just works. And she threw it in my bag one day, like a little elf. She threw it in my bag, and she said, you know, you really should try this. You really should try this. It's unbelievable. I will tell you, it's unbelievable. And all it is her special crushed vitamin C, and it's just done in such a particular way that I really do notice that it has that lifting effect. And what I like is I like something that doesn't work in the moment but actually has a healing effect. So I feel like vitamin C, it actually, you know, helps you produce collagen. Your body can't produce collagen without it, so it makes complete sense. So
well, the thing that I love about it is, and this is not to sell, you know, this goes back to your
No, but there's a question coming up right now. Are we able to purchase it?
No. Yes, of course. You just go to NicoleBrillSkincare.com and it's all there. And actually right now I'm having a 40%.
That's what I wanted to hear. 40%. Yeah.
Yes, because 40% because everyone needs to enjoy themselves at home now. No, because it literally is 4 steps and it takes 4 minutes, and it's fast and it's effective and it works. And the thing that I like about it is that now that we're in quarantine, I don't wear makeup, obviously, except for if I'm coming on Dr. Kellyann, but every single day, I want to feel like I'm going to come out of this still looking my best and feeling fresh.
Right.
So I feel like doing that collagen treatment every single day and putting that vitamin C topically is ensuring that my skin, and I actually just feel better. I don't know if it's psychological, but when I look in the mirror, I do feel like everything is still intact. And, you know, it's been a rough one, especially here in New York. And, you know, I've been quarantined inside my little shell for almost 10 weeks now, and it's intense. So that daily 4 minutes really just keeps you feeling and looking, and that whole clean beauty and non-toxic and self-care at home, it sort of aligns with everything that's happening right now for.
Nice.
But yes, we have to make
Thanks
sure
for
that you artists get to indulge and enjoy as well.
For sure.
Thanks for that. Elena, I've got a question for you, Elena. What is the difference between working on someone 20 than working on someone 40 or older? What are the differences for you?
It's all about skin texture. Your skin texture is a little bit different at 40 than it is at 20. 20, you're a little bit more plump. You're like, elasticity is a little tighter, right? And you're able to create a more softer look on a 20-year-old. With the older person, you know, it's about the texture, because you don't know where their skin is, the level of it, meaning like open pores. Sometimes they have a lot of blemishes or, you know, bumps and stuff like that. You got to kind of work on that as an older person. But I suggest a skin regimen. Quarantine has been the best time to create a skin regimen for yourself.
Totally.
Whether it's 7 days, right? Whether 7 days, whether it's 14 days, down to 30 days, you have to create a skin regimen. And whether you're 20 or 40, you can control your skin and make your skin glow, even without highlighting. You know,
1,000%, 1,000%, Elena, 1,000%.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
the glow comes internally, guys. So you have something called your terrain. This is
exactly.
This is your blood, this is your fluids. It's the fluids surrounding your cells. It's your internal milieu, as they call it. And this is where when that is right, that's when
right. And you have to be consistent. That's the total.
Yes.
Please say that again. Please say that again.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know Nicole, jump on that wagon, because so many people are looking for that cream, that moisturizer to do something overnight. And you hear about these wonderful, you know, transformative results, but that's with a minimum of 30 days use.
Exactly.
At least 30 days. At least 30 days.
And also, if you're consistently putting something on and you don't see a result, it's because the skin underneath hasn't, again, been prepped or primed correctly to be able to then receive your favorite moisturizer or oil or what serum or whatever it is that you love. And you actually have, I mean, even if it's like a tiny little exfoliation every day, do that so that when you then put on your favorite moisturizer or whatever product you love, it will actually penetrate.
And sunscreen. And sunscreen for everybody.
Oh,
it's
yes,
very important.
Very.
So
And consistency.
So guys, we've run a little over this evening, and I'm letting us run a little over because we have such a spectacular team here today. What a panel. We're going to have a part 2 panel, which I'd like to publicly invite everyone on the panel back. And this time, we're going to have them. Next time, we're going to have them actually work on someone next to them, and they are going to show us what they do, even if it's a doll. It doesn't matter.
Oh, la, 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 la.
So tonight was the this, and the next time it's the this. Okay, so we're going to get a school, and you can surely see why all of these folks are I'm so proud to call my friend. And so we're going to stop with my rapid fire. And by the way, we have a rapid fire every day except for Sunday and Monday. You can catch us at noon, where we have our rapid fire, which is where we take someone from the panel and we go through rapid fire questions. We're going to be inviting all of the panelists to do a rapid fire, but we're going to end tonight with one. And the rapid fire is this, and Derek, I'll be starting with you, my love. The question is, what is your favorite makeup hack, and what is your favorite makeup product? Derek.
My favorite makeup hack happens to be something pertaining to the skin. I am a skin junkie. I love good skin. So my makeup hack is essential oils right after moisturizer so that they can penetrate the epidermis and the dermis level and work on a cellular level. That's one of my favorite go-to products is essential oils for the skin. As far as a makeup product, I have so many that I like using, but one of my favorites is the Cogendo's moisturizer that they have. I love Cogendo's products.
Oh, wow.
So they have, and I've been using on my client, and they tend to love the moisturizer because it's a very good. It actually sets the makeup, sets the face before I apply the makeup, and it gives a very smooth finish before I put the makeup on. So I'm a lover of Cogendo, and there's several other ones, but you said one, so I'll just go with Cogendo right now.
Can you spell that for us, please? Stacy, can you put that in the box?
Kogendo.
Okay.
But I can say, because we got people on here that are everyday consumers that a lot of times can't afford the higher end. So there are some things you can get that are in the drugstore that are good, and Regenerist is another good product. So I got to give it to them.
Is that oil of Olay?
Yes. They have some.
Oil
really good products.
Regenerist, okay.
Regenerist. So I'm going to go high end, and there's something that's comparable for everyone that is, can't afford the high end. So there you go.
Spoken like a true professional. Okay, Sam, my friend, what do you got for us?
My hack.
And a makeup product.
My makeup hack, I have to say, I buy a ton of mascaras. Voluminous is one of my favorites from L'Oreal, and I love it because you can still buy it at the drugstore. Drugstores are still open. But a lot of women who are saying they can't color their hair right now, or you're getting just that gray, that one hair, those few hairs that are coming up, I like to take a mascara and wipe the wand completely off and then just go through the brow. This is great for male grooming. This is also a great trick if you have a few gray hairs. Obviously, I can't get rid of all this gray with this, but it's a really fun thing to do.
What do you think I did?
Look, see?
That's awesome.
Pros know.
That's awesome.
I think there's too much information, folks.
No, but I'm telling you, to make your brow thicker in a really easy way, just wipe the mascara brush clean. And then what's left over is perfect. And then one product that has never left my kit from the beginning of my career is Iman. I don't say this because we're friends, but Iman Cosmetics, her luxury pressed powders are beautiful. And we talked about foundations. And if you're not wearing foundation and you just want to alleviate shine and make the skin look more consistent in color and texture, powder will just kind of take that shine away and make the skin look so beautiful.
I love that advice. And I want to say one more thing before we switch to the next expert here. But you really have accomplished something pretty extraordinary that we didn't mention, and I find it so impressive. You are the first African-American spokesperson for Revlon and Covergirl.
Yeah. Those are some good times. And I was able to parlay that even into becoming the first creative makeup director for Cosmetic Powerhouse Fashion Fair. So I've had a fun time in my career, and so those are just a few feathers in my cap.
And well deserved, Sam. Well
Yes,
deserved.
well deserved.
Love those feathers. Let's shoot over to Elena. Elena, please tell us your favorite makeup hack and your favorite makeup product.
I like this silky primer that I put on Robin's face every morning, along with, of course, vitamin C serums and Talc moisturizer. Is a detoxifying moisturizer to start. And my favorite is a cream blush. And why I like it is because I like the color to look like it's oozing out of the skin opposed to on top of the skin. You know what I'm saying? Like there's you know, like the powder blush has a tendency, which I use the powder blush too, but it has a tendency to look like powdered blush. But the cream looks like it's her color of her own skin. It just has a nice shine, and you know, you can do a combination. MAC has a really good pigmented cream blushes, and now Fenty just came out with cream blushes also, but theirs is a little share, which is great for the consumer who wants to just start getting into it. So it's not like, you know, a whole bunch of color, but you can also add a little lipstick too. I mean, you know, you can be creative all you want, but for sure the matte cream blushes on. I just absolutely love it. I just like to make that monochromatic type of look with color at times, and that's one of my best secrets.
I love it. Thank you. And it's wonderful. And Nicole?
So I would say that if you're in a pinch, a little hack is Lancome makes this product called La Base Pro, which is a silicone, sort of a silicone, it slides, silicone base. If you are doing your own makeup, let's say, I mean, when I do makeup, or if you're doing your own face and something didn't blend, you take just a little bit of this La Base Pro from Lancome and you put it on, and you just sort of can manipulate it and smooth it out, and it smooths out the skin as well. And I find that if you put a little bit of that on a pimple before you actually try to cover the pimple, it has something to adhere to, and it actually covers the pimple longer. So that is something I absolutely positively cannot live without in terms of my own kit. Or if your eye tears and you just need to smooth it out and it maybe gets a little salty, you just put a little of that La Base Pro and then add a little more foundation over it or concealer, and then it really just slides and has something to hold on to, so it's not raw. My favorite product is my 4-minute treatment, which I myself use every single day and I cannot live without. It's all handcrafted, and each one takes 2 days to make. And because it's a small company right now, and I make it all by hand myself, and because it's so time consuming and I only buy ingredients in a small quantity, it is right now very expensive. But because of the 40%, if you want to buy one single product, a travel size, it's actually not that expensive. And if you have to pick one travel size, I would say for sure everyone needs to exfoliate. And my smoothing scrub is just the most beautiful exfoliation. And you only need a little bit to really, really clean your skin. It's very, very cleaning. And also it kind of just doesn't dry your face out. And then when you put your moisturizer on, it actually will penetrate. So if you're on a budget and you can only choose one, I would say the face smoothing scrub in the travel size is actually something you cannot live without.
Thank you so much, everyone. This has been a wonderful contribution. Thank you for everything. This has been.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us, Dr. Kellyann.
Yeah, this is great.
I just want to say it was such a privilege and it was such a pleasure to meet each and every single artist on this panel. I mean, I know what it takes to have to, being a makeup artist is a life of service. And when you're standing in front of people and giving yourself to them on a daily basis and having compassion for them in all the different ways that we can, it's really just such an honor to meet other people that are in the same genre. So thank you for all that you all do. And it was such a beautiful thing to meet all of you. So thank you, Kellyann.
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm going to go around really quickly. We've gone over. We'll go around really quickly. Tell everyone where they can get more of you. Starting with you, Sam. Where can we find you?
I'm doing live chats like this on IG every week, with different professionals. Derek and Elena and Nicole, you guys are invited on next. And that's on IG. I am Sam
Party
Fine.
on Sam Fine.
I am Sam
Hey,
Fine.
come on, bring it on.
Derek, everyone, tell everyone where they can get more of you, Derek.
And like Sam, I've been going live frequently, talking, uplifting people while we're here during this pandemic. And I'm at Derek, the number 4, MKUP, Derek for Makeup, MKUP on IG.
Okay.
On Instagram. And Elena.
I am on Elena George 1 Makeup on IG, but coming soon, we're going to have the Beauty Hot List TV. And everyone here is invited. And what we're going to be discussing is all hot everything. Lifestyle, makeup, places, things, food, everything. So it's coming soon.
Nice.
Congratulations.
The theater near you, just wait. It's going to be big. And Nicole.
So you can go to NicoleBrillSkincare.com, which is how you spell Brill is BRYL, just so people know the difference. And Nicole Brill Skincare on Instagram. So those are the absolute two places that I'm always frequenting. So that's it.
I'm going to end this evening with my beauty hack. I love collagen under eye patches. I put them in the refrigerator. I get them nice and cold. I put them on in the morning and I go about my business doing whatever and I flip those things off and I notice a really big difference. My favorite product I actually love, and I hate to tell you guys this because every time I do this, the store runs out and I can't get any. So you know I love you because I'm telling you. I love Buxom. Buxom is an amazing lip gloss. It does plump your lips and it really works. And Mudslide is my favorite color. So they're my two tips and we're signing out.
Okay.
Night out. Another episode. We're saying good night tonight and join us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. We're going to go over diet. What really should we be eating? What should our plate look like? She is one of the world's experts in talking about protein.
So Shake Shack off the list.
And you can see this panel.
This quarantine 15. This quarantine 15 is, you know.
And we're going to talk all about that. And you're going to see this panel on again. And this panel, we will be having a live makeover. Each one of these experts that you see will be doing a little makeup tutorial for us. So stay tuned and we will see you again tomorrow night. Signing off with all the peace and all the love for you tonight. Be well. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.